I was going to school for journalism and for poetry, so pursuing both majors at the same time. And all the rational part of me being like, okay, I want to be a sports writer. That's maybe how I'll pay my bills. But then kind of the dreamy part of me being like, hey, I want to be a poet. Like, I think I'm pretty good at this. I want to take this seriously. So I wrote that whole collection while I was in college, and it got published shortly after I graduated. I decided to go the self-publishing route because, well, as you know, Mary, and I quickly found out in college, the publishing game in poetry is pretty tough. So the dreamy dreams of like, oh yeah, I'll just write a collection, get it published. Well, that turned out to be a little more difficult than that. But it was great. It was a great like breeding ground, just putting together the whole manuscript for me in terms of finding myself as a poet, like I said, and just going through the process of from submitting to individual literary publications, big and small across the country, to trying to pitch your manuscript and get that looked at, and then just the process of putting together a manuscript. And like the best poetry collections you or I have read, it's not just a hodgepodge of poems. It's coherent. The poems flow from one to the next, just like a good hip hop album would. So finding that rhythm, finding the themes I wanted to explore, that was kind of all the basis for that. And I'll say, even looking back, I was just reading a few of them just now. I'd say as poets, artists in general, we tend to be more critical the further we get from works, and the stuff we did when we were younger, we kind of shrug it off. But I'm still pretty proud of it, and I'm proud of the way I was able to kind of translate baseball into an underlying theme there, like you said. So divided into 9 innings, there's 54 poems, and there's 54 outs in a 9-inning baseball game. So a poem for an out in the game. So using that as kind of the underlying theme, and I believe most of the poems contain baseball, which I tried to kind of shift away from my latter collections. But that was really just kind of the genesis for me as a poet.